clearly like a comment is this sheer thousands of I'll just take the first 5 minutes. Every other word, yeah, everything. Right? We'll see.
Is that who I think it is? Doctor? Well, I do what I can. First time for everything.
Roger Harwell said the same thing. He said, "You look pretty clean." He goes, but I guess that's a good thing. And I said, "Well, I'll wear it back if it gets all dirty." You're right. Then it'll have a story.
Yeah.
Meat potatoes, right? But there's one thing.
But you know, with technology nowadays, I'll just go to Google AI and go, you know, into my phone and say, here's what I'm saying.
With rice. And dill and pepper and black pepper. I love that thing. I'm in. Sounds delicious. Tomato sauce. It was my favorite thing. Every time when I was going back home to visit my family. This stuff was good. Now I'm not going to cook for you because you don't eat it.
I just find that so remarkable about technology. It's almost taking all the words and saying, oh, you know, I can't learn. I still don't learn.
Well, I stopped eating in 2 years ago. I eat
Was it because of your studies, or was it because of?
because of my studies. Yes.
I know, right? I know. We're like, I might not listen to all of it.
So what kind of dish do you use that you eat? Pierogi.
Neuroplasticity or something with your brain stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right?
Just waiting for a couple later arrivals to get their food. Being nice. But then we're gonna get going.
Stay on that time schedule.
And I try to start early. There's always a few birthday boys that seem to go over time.
Never. Ever.
And that's gonna be under 60 seconds. I can feel it. Oh yeah, I don't even have anything prepared. Is it made out to me? My name is General Fons, right? Waiting for them to get their food. I'm done waiting. We're getting started. Welcome to the June 18th meeting of the Rotary Club of Tucson. As you can see today, people were okay with about 50 weeks of me, and they did not want to be here for the 51st, which I understand.
Saving it for next week. I'm going to welcome up Matt Sinclair, who joined our club March 20th, 2025. He's in plumbing backflow prevention. That is not a doctor thing. That's actually a backflow. Never mind. We'll get it. Arizona certified backflow testers. Matt?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever in peace may you wave. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Every heart beats true with your red, white, and blue, where there's never a bust or brag. Should old acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the grand old flag. Nice.
Well done. Thank you, Matt. Please stay standing for a minute. Sorry about that. We're just going to have a short moment of silence. Our dear member Faye Morris's sister passed away on Friday from a sudden illness. She has asked for our prayers for her, and there's a card being passed around, but please join me in a moment of silence for Faye's sister. Thank you for that. You may be seated now. It did make me feel like I had a lot of power that I got you all to stand up again, though, so that's really good. And now for our inspiration. I'm going to welcome up Mitch Pizik, who joined our club March 25th, 2021. He's in business consulting, the Pizik Consulting Group. He went to the University of Illinois. Mitch.
To quote the great Ron Burgundy from the classic 2004 film Anchorman, we're kind of a big deal. Just visualize for a moment the magnitude of resources that we marshal and deploy. We have about 240 members in our club who together every year pay over $250,000 in dues and donations to the club and devote over 65,000 hours to our club. Why? Why do we do this? What are we accomplishing? Well, I'm thrilled you asked. Allow me to provide context, explanation, and justification. Visualize a giant Rotary Club of Tucson flywheel, a big giant flywheel with 4 interlocking sections. So number 1, we attract and retain an ever-increasing number of members. Number 2, having more members provides us with ever-increasing resources of time and money. Number 3, having more resources mean we can engage in more community service projects, a bigger and more successful annual car show, and more club activities, the whiskey event, of course, being a perfect example. Number 4, these actions and activities leads directly to our providing even more substantial positive community impact and enhancing our favorable, impressive, enviable Rotary Club of Tucson recognition, renown, and reputation, which number 5 results in our attracting even more members. And the flywheel keeps turning faster and faster. And every year we will now continue to attract even more members and provide even more positive impact in our local and international communities and make even more friends while doing so. That's why we do what we do. Did I mention we're kind of a big deal?
Thank you, Ron. Mitch, appreciate that. I just want to warn everybody, before the meeting started, I did see our own Chris Dodge training Dan Guerre, How to Use the Maracas, which after all these years, it's about time you got some training. But I watched what he did, and you're not doing anything any different. So want to welcome up Chris Dodge to introduce our guests and visiting Rotarians. Chris?
Thank you. Thank you, guys. So I shout out to Jim over there who's doing AV. You know, when he was young, his parents tried to get him to eat vegetables, and they tried to convince the vegetable that we had today was called broccoli Jim. And then he was sad in 4th grade one day when he found out that his best friend, it was named after him, Broccoli Rob. Yeah. Where's Rob? Who was it? Yeah. More? Yeah. Oh, I wait until I pull out the magic tricks, folks. But speaking of magic, we have a magical guest with us here. Guest of Joe Pennington. I think she's sitting over there. Where's Mickey Pennington? Say hello. Hi, Mickey. Thank you for being here. And Joe, thank you for bringing Mickey with us today. And I have one more guest to announce. Guest of Cam Moore. Where's Kristen Hill? Hi, Kristen. Thank you for being here. We have a couple other guests from another Rotary Club, but they'll be introduced, I believe, when our speaker comes up. That's what I was told. And yeah, I don't know. Or I'll just announce people anyway, because I'm just going to say it. Where's Daniel Lobitz? Oh, he's right there. But you have guests, Daniel. Lori Castro. Hi, Lori. And Katie James. Where's Katie? Stand up, Katie. Thank you for being here. All right. Now I've done my job. Thanks, Cammie. Back to you.
For the people who haven't been here recently, this is Chris's first meeting as Sergeant at Arms, so he's just trying to get used to the routine. So like Cam, you would know that this is his first meeting because it's your first meeting since I've been president. And it's really good to see you, Cam. It's going to be a good day. Next, I would like to welcome up Cammie Evans to introduce our program. She joined our club April 25th, 2024, Government, Pima County Board of Supervisors, and she went to University of Arizona. Cammie.
I did not cut down this very impressive bio in advance, so we'll see how much I skip and how much I don't, because it's all impressive, right? So how do you do it? So Dr. Daniel Laubitz is a dedicated researcher immersed in the realms of microbiology and plus I get extra points for the big words I'm going to say. Molecular biology, making significant strides in microbiome exploration, genomic research, and diagnostic advancements. He earned his Master of Sciences degree from in microbiology from Warsaw University, Poland, where his fascination with unraveling the intricacies of microbiology or microbial life began to flourish. Yeah, we'll cut this down. Continuing his academic journey, Daniel pursued a PhD at the Institute of Biochemistry and Biophysics, Polish Academy of Sciences. His doctoral research focused on elucidating the relationships between intestinal microbial systems and host organisms, establishing him as an expert in human microbiome studies. Driven by his commitment to excellence, he earned a higher doctorate known as habilitation from Warsaw University, solidifying his position as a recognized specialist in the field. In 2007, he joined the team of Dr. Kaela and Dr. Gishan at the University of Arizona's Department of Pediatrics as a postdoctoral researcher. He's done a million things since. How's that? I know, and we'll give him more time to talk and tell you himself, right? But inflammatory bowel disease and colon cancer. He is the most recent was enabling the acquisition of a state-of-the-art NovaSeq 6000 sequencing platform, which is basically like full genome sequencing here at the U of A. So unwavering commitment to advancing it. He initiated the establishment of a genomic center in Arizona. So he'll tell you a lot more. but we know that there's Angel Charity involvement, there's Panda involvement, which is a board out of Phoenix who does fundraising solely for the Steele Children's Research Center here at the U of A. So there's a lot of local involvement and a lot of really, really important work being done right in our backyard. So throughout his career, Dr. Laubitz has been honored with numerous distinctions and awards, including recognition for his exceptional PhD thesis and scholarships for outstanding young scientists from the Foundation for Polish Science, and now we have him here, highlighting his significant contributions to the field. Dr. Laubitz.
Thank you so much. Now I am impressed about my own bio. Thank you so much for having me and allowing me to present our project and what we do at the Department of Pediatrics, Steele Children Research Center, how we help kids in our community, Southern Arizona, actually entire Arizona, to give them better hope and better future. So everything what Kemi said can be squeezed into one sentence: DNA sequencing. That's what we basically do. That's what we do in our genetic core. So just to give you a little bit of background, the first human genome, sequencing of first human genome started in 1990. And it took 13 years to sequence one human genome. And it costed overall $2.7 billion. So that was beginning of everything. And as you can see, the sequencing was done on the huge gels like this. I just want to remind you that our genome has like a 3 trillion of bases, and every single dot on that gel is one base. So we had to sequence one by one. That's why it took 13 years to do it. I don't have picture. I've done it. I don't have picture myself doing it, so I switched that face. But I promise you I've done it. It was 20-something years ago. Now everything is, we have new technology. Now everything is quick, fast, and which is quick and fast is the same, and inexpensive. We have different technologies for sequencing. At the University of Arizona, we use Illumina technology, which is US-based and US manufactured instruments. They have many different platforms. We have most of those platforms, which allow us to help scientists and clinicians from small projects to really big projects, including clinical analysis. The biggest instrument we have, as Kami mentioned, is NovaSeq 6000. We got this 3 years ago, thanks to help of people like your organization with Panda and Angels. Thank you. And having this instrument, we can sequence human genomes, not only for research purpose, but also as a diagnostic test. And that was our goal. Right now, I just want to point out that we can sequence, you can see the first line, human genomes per run, 48. So now we can sequence 48 human genomes, which takes 40 hours, not 13 years. And it costs $30,000, not $2.7 billion. So as you can see, technology is completely different. But our lab is the only lab in entire Arizona, which is CLIA certified and CAP accredited lab, providing diagnostic tools, genetic diagnostic tools for patients, mostly for patients at NICU and PICU. So how it's done, sample is collected from a patient. It can be blood, can be cheek swabs, can be 1 drop of blood, and then we do DNA extraction, then we do library preparation, sequencing, and data analysis. It's just 4 steps, but it took 4 weeks to do it. The most time-consuming step is, of course, data analysis. Please remember that our genome, it's extremely complex. If we want to write down our genome in a form of books, we would have to write down somewhere between 7,000 to 8,000 novels. And when we are doing data analysis, when we are looking what is happening with a patient, we are looking for 1 misspelled letter in all those books. So this is extremely precise, time-consuming, and we cannot make mistakes because report from our lab is going back to NICU and PICU, and physicians are making decisions how to treat that patient, if the patient can be treated. That's why bioinformatics used for data analysis costs tons of money. The instrument I just showed you, NovaSeq 6000, it's $1 million. To maintain that instrument is $125,000 every single year. Bioinformatics to analyze data for every single patient is $60,000 a year. So once we yes?
It's not question time.
It's not question time. Okay, so let's say we found that 1 misspelled letter, or can be missing letter, or 1 extra letter, doesn't matter. It's something new in the genome. It doesn't mean it's automatically pathogenic. It doesn't mean automatically cause disease. We have, every single patient we analyze, we see somewhere between 300,000 to 500,000 variants which are completely benign, meaning meaningless. But we have to go through all those variants and find that one which can be pathogenic. And we score them from benign, likely benign, uncertain, likely pathogenic to pathogenic. We don't have questions about likely pathogenic and pathogenic variants. But there's most of them, unfortunately, are considered as uncertain. Why uncertain? Because we still don't know. The knowledge is not there. And there's entire world working on how to properly assign that variant either to pathogenic or benign. Unfortunately, most of those are uncertain variants will be, after confirmation, will be assigned as likely pathogenic or pathogenic. So most of those genetic disease and most patients in NICU and PICU, they experience something we call rare genetic disease. What does it mean, rare genetic disease? I mean, some English words are really difficult to pronounce. As you've heard, I'm Polish. So if you don't understand something, please don't tell me. Because I can repeat that the same with the same accent, so it won't help anyway. So definition of rare genetic disease is different depending where you ask. If you ask in United States, it says fewer than 200,000 Americans has that disease. It's different definition in Europe, it's different definition in Japan. Everything depends on the population. But in general, it means that not that many people experiencing, or kids experiencing that kind of disease. That's why it's so difficult to work. That's why it's so difficult to analyze and study those diseases, because they are really rare. That's difficult work. Okay. So at NICU, right now we know more or less 10,000 rare genetic diseases. Somewhere between 50 to 80% patient at NICU, they are considered as rare genetic disease. So as you can see, most patients at NICU, they need to be sequenced to find out what actually is going on. It's not working, please help, yes. So this is not only proper diagnostic and that's it. Has also huge economical impact on patient, on family, on entire community and entire society. If we are able to properly diagnose a baby quick, that baby will skip 8 different physicians, 8 different specialists, probably will save 5 or 7 years of that baby life, going from office to office and trying to figure out what's going on. Every single test per average costs $19,000. And on the way, probably that baby will be 2, at least 3 times misdiagnosed. There might be even more. Of course, this is everything per average. So once we have properly diagnosed baby, we can avoid all of that. It's saving money to the baby. It's saving money to the family of that baby. It's saving money to the health insurance companies, which we don't care about that. But it really saves lots of money and gives more space in the more available beds to other kids in hospitals. So here you have listed different genetic tests we can use to diagnose a baby. And the purple column, it's whole genome sequencing. As you can see, whole genome sequencing, it checks every single type of variant, every single type of mutation, every single type of genetic disease. So we call this ultimate test. Instead of going through all those, as you can, on the right side, you have a conventional approach. We can skip all of that by doing one test. Why we are not doing that test? Because it's expensive. One test, it costs $4,000 to $9,000. Yes, it's expensive, but if you combine all expenses being at the hospital, other tests, $19,000 average test, as I showed. Families, parents, they have to go quit jobs sometimes because if you have baby for 6 months at the hospital, someone needs to stay with that baby. They are taking time off, unpaid time off. So it's really huge impact. So $4,000 is actually, at the end of the day, not that much. Still, it's new, and lots of many health insurance companies still don't want to cover it. There was a study done in California. It was called Baby Bear Project. It was funded by the state, and what they did, they sequenced almost every single baby born from time to time, and they tried to figure out how much money it will be saved for the state if we do that approach. And they find out there's numbers which I cannot read from here, but there's like something $2.3 million per a year. And, but that's not the most important for the patient. The most important thing for the patient is that per average, the babies spend 513 days less in hospital. That's important thing is that baby went through 11 fewer invasive tests. So this is what is important for the patient and the parents. This is a published example, so I can mention, we can show picture. 6-year-old Donovan. He had atypical symptoms. He had many different unusual phenotypes, as we say. As you can see, the entire list of disease was on the way. Every single specialist was giving different diagnoses. Many different doctors. It took 6 years to diagnose that boy properly And one test found out that there's one mutation in SKA gene, and everything was clear. There's no cure for this, but the proper management, it helps this boy to live normal life at home, not in the hospital. So the study shows that more or less 60 to 70 baby tested using whole genome sequencing have changed with the disease management, which is important. As I said, this test is not only test for the baby. It's a test for entire family. Family knows what is happening with the kid. Family knows if they should or shouldn't have another baby, if this is genetic disease, can be passed to another offspring. They can seek a genetic counselor and genetic counseling to find out how to avoid another baby with similar problems. Saves money for the family, for the society, which has economical utility. And I think this is the future of our diagnostics right now. Our lab is the only one lab in Arizona doing this type of tests. Everything, all hospitals from Arizona sending samples out to Colorado, California. We are a new lab trying to get into the market. But I mentioned whole genome sequencing, DNA sequencing is not only diagnostic tool. I mentioned we also support research and entire research community at the University of Arizona, Tucson, Phoenix. We sequence lots of things. We sequence soil microbiome, water microbiome, how does influence our health, human microbiome. I specialize in gut microbiome, there's skin microbiome, vaginal microbiome. Every single part of our body has its own unique microbiome. So I want to mention in our department, we have a unit which is called Children's Post-Infectious Autoimmune Encephalopathy Center. Those kids develop disease usually after strep infection. The symptoms are very unusual because practically overnight from normal kid, they developed autism-like or OCD-like symptoms. Nobody knows what to do with this. Usually those kids are sent to psychiatric treatment, and diagnostic is extremely difficult because there's no test for that disease. Our center is the biggest center in the entire United States, and the most difficult cases are sent to our center to diagnose kids with CPAE. We have two subtypes of that disease, which is PANS and PANDAS. PANDAS is specific for strep infection or post-strep infection. But our lab also studied gut microbiome of those patients because genetically we couldn't find anything which could cause that disease. We study microbiome, and we find out that gut microbiome of a patient with PANDAS, who develop PANDAS, is different than healthy patients. This study was done on twins. Almost done? Okay. I'm almost done. So the patients who develop disease, their microbiome is different compared to their twins, brothers, or sisters. I'm not going to go through the graphs, but what I want to show you here, the bar chart, and you can see that nasal microbiome, throat microbiome, and gut microbiome is different. What does it mean? We still don't know. That's science, that's research. Okay, I think that would be it for me. Yes, if we have time for questions, we have already one question.
All right.
You and I met before. I actually saw your giant copy machine size genome thing.
That's the machine.
Yeah. I'm a friend of Dr. Gashan's, and he introduced us. And I just want to say, the work you guys do is incredible. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
doing that work in Tucson. I think if most people knew that if they had a kid that got sick, that you guys were, literally an Uber ride away, they'd feel a lot more comfortable about healthcare in Tucson.
Thank you so much for your kind words. Our work is possible because of the organizations like yours, and I'm really shocked because I'm from Poland. We don't have community support in research. We don't have that. I was so surprised seeing people coming to our lab asking questions. What do you do? How can we help? I'm really shocked.
So here's the
Okay.
fastball. I was led to believe, and clearly wrong because I'm not a scientist, but I thought that the total DNA sequence was in the stool, not the blood.
No, stool, yes. We do sequence DNA from stool, but when we're analyzing microbiome, gut microbiome, and we're sequencing microbial DNA. That's one part. When we want to sequence a whole genome, human genome, we take either blood or cheek swabs.
Okay, and so does any of that change from birth to death?
Gut microbiome, absolutely yes. Human genome, never.
And so what's the better indication of disease?
Genetic disease is going to be whole genome sequencing, the human genome.
And that's the one that costs $30,000.
That's what costs $4,000 to $9,000.
$4,000 to $9,000.
Entire sequencing costs $30,000. The sequencing run costs $30,000, and we can put 40 samples in it. But when we add other costs like library preparation and data analysis and geneticists who needs to review it, then we have $4,000 to $9,000 per case. Why I'm saying $4,000 to $9,000? $4,000 is just for a patient. $9,000 is for a patient and both parents, because ideal situation is when we can sequence both patient and parents, and then we know exactly how genes were passed to the baby and how the genes are organized in that baby.
So Dr. Gashan said one time that the only thing good research needs is data. Is that still true?
Correct. And money. You cannot have research without money.
Following up that program, what, if any, role does AI play in this?
Absolutely, yes. I said we are trying to find one letter in 10,000 books. We have tools for that, but then we have, let's say, 300,000 variants, and we need to do interpretation. I'm not able to do everything manually by myself. So we use AI tools which are matching variants with phenotypes. We have to do patient phenotypes for this type of analysis, and matches patient genomes with phenotypes, with databases, and it spits out probability. Every single probable case or variant has to be manually reviewed and interpreted by geneticists. But instead of doing 300,000, we have 5.
Sorry.
Over there is
I'm keeping them in order.
Okay.
There you go.
Very curious how you see this evolving into the future. You've had the opportunity to see all this new technology and science come to be in your career. How do you see it going forward?
Well, I think this particular test should be applied to practically every single newborn. That I think would be ideal future for the babies, because we can prevent many things, we can predict many things. Right now, genetic tests are done for every single newborn, for CFTR, for metabolic diseases, and so on. But the picture is not full. For example, CFTR, cystic fibrosis, we tested in Arizona, I believe, 32 variants. We have 125 variants. So based on that test done on newborn, we can say, oh, that patient doesn't have cystic fibrosis. Well, it may, because we tested only a third of the variants. So I think this is the future of diagnosis, of diagnostic tests. It will replace many different tests and will predict, it helps to predict the health of the baby. Yes, I know there's lots of questions and legal questions and moral questions about that, but if I knew that my baby might develop this kind of syndrome, I would be prepared. I would be proactive.
One more question right here.
Hi.
Hi.
And thank you again. I just want to second the work you're doing is incredible,
Thank
and
you.
I've been hearing about it for a few years, so thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
So I'm specifically in the clinical application of the education around epigenetics, and so I think the big question I would ask at this point is, with all the diagnostic tools that we have, I don't always see the mirroring or the marriaging of the diagnostics and the data we're having to how we can actually apply that into changing that. You know, we're not changing the gene sequence, but we're changing the gene expression
Yep.
over time. What are you seeing? What kind of developments are you seeing in the world? Where are we working with clinicians? How's that going?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, what's your name? Amita. She mentioned epigenetic, which is an extremely important part because we can, well, now we can. We have CRISPR-Cas9 methods, and we can modify genes. We can fix some genes. Therefore, we can treat genetic disease, some of them at least for now. But epigenetic is extremely important part of how we function, our body function, and regulates a gene expression. It can be tested. And I think ideal situation, whole genome sequencing with RNA-seq, which is metatranscriptome analysis plus epigenetic, we can have a full picture. I have to mention that none of those, we can do it for research purpose. Whole genome sequencing hasn't been FDA approved test. And I don't know if it ever will be. Every single lab like ours has to run its own validation study. We spend $500,000 to run validation study. We sequence almost over 100 patient volunteers to prove it that our lab is able to do accurately. If it was FDA approved test, probably the process would be easier, but the test would be way more expensive. And there's lots of variations. I don't know if FDA would ever approve that as a test. For now, it's called laboratory developed tests, which is used in the clinics anyway.
Very good. Thank you.
Oh, that's it?
That's
Oh.
it. That's it.
I warm up.
Thank you. That was fascinating. I was excited for this program, and I wasn't even sure what it all was going to be. But now, so CDKL5, you know CDKL5?
No.
It's an extremely rare genetic disorder that my youngest daughter has. And she wasn't diagnosed until she was like 12 after we moved to Tucson. So the fear that parents go through, right, is not fun. And even for, talking about the whole family, my other girls wondering if they should ever get married and have kids because they didn't know if the same thing could happen. So that testing, firsthand, it's life-changing, right? It's unbelievable. So thank you very much. And for those of you that didn't quite understand everything, under your chair, you should be able to find the book Genetics. Just kidding, it's not under your chair. But we have a book for our Make Way for Books library, Genetics for Smart Kids. Oh, that's why it's not under your chair, it's for smart kids. I thought you were all adults, not kids. I'm going to ask you to sign this for Make Way for Books. It's only one more week. And I'm going to have a moment of truth here. So you have a grace period right now. If you want to confess it was you whose phone, and I know there was more than one, that went off during the program. Anybody? Anybody? I appreciate. Is it the truth? That's question number one. And Jeff, if you ever want to be the program, there's a program committee that we can get you connected with so that you can Yeah. It's incredible. And that's a second program from Jeff, so it's... We love you, Jeff. So if anybody is interested, let Cami know, because they do like to give tours, and it'd be fascinating to be able to go see. So thank you for that. Thank you, Jeff. Gentleman and a scholar. One of the two. I better quit. I'm going to go over time. We have a little club business. We have some birthday boys, as you can see. First, we're going to start with Daryl Stewart. His birthday is June 16th. Joined our club September 6th, 2008. Correct me if I miss any of this. He was in real estate investment, proprietor of Copper Court Casitas. I went to the University of Arizona. No, good. University of Minnesota. I was testing to see if he was actually listening to me. Something you may not know about Daryl. At age 5, this is just fascinating. At age 5, he fell out of this B-17 bomber in Portland, Oregon, incurring a brain injury resulting in total hearing loss in his left ear, which is very not good, but was it moving? Was it flying?
There it is. It was on top of the gas.
Okay, so it wasn't in the air when that...
Well, it was on.
Okay,
It was not
very
on the
good,
ground.
very good. Daryl, birthday minute.
So related to that hearing loss that I have in my left ear, I tell this story once every 5 years, primarily for the benefit of the new members. For the old members, they probably don't remember it anyway. So when I was in high school, my mom got me a job in a gas station, Esso gas station in McLean, Virginia. This lady pulls in, I take care of her gas. I'm up on the island processing, swiping her card, with the processing. She leans out of the window and she asks toward my bad ear. She said, "Do you have a restroom?" I thought she asked, "Do you have a whisk broom?" I said, "Well, no, but if you'll pull your car over here, I think I can blow it out with an air hose." Anyway, she came, I never did get it until she was gone, but she came back a week later and we laughed about it. I have $100 to support Charlotte Harris's indoor ride. Charlotte, how long have we been doing the indoor ride? 13 years. Of those 13 years, we probably have had the same 8 or 9 people the whole time. I'm appealing for new blood, not that I don't love the people that show up, but we really could use some additional people, and you'll be hearing more about it as it gets closer. I have $100. There you go.
Thank you, Daryl. Next, we have Jonathan Walkup. His birthday is June 17th. Yesterday. Joined our club June 2nd, 2022. Biotechnology, cancer immunotherapy with Kite Pharma. Went to Baylor University and the University of Iowa. Something you may not know about Jonathan. He was an extra on several episodes of the TV show Dallas. Who's still watching the reruns? You can raise your hand and be honest. Making $40 a day, he was always with Cliff Barnes, never with JR or Victoria Principal.
But he probably shot JR.
That's right.
Thank you, President Curtis. So I'm up here in this outfit, and you're probably wondering why. And I'm going to explain to you. So for my birthday, I'm going to go over and enjoy the Festival of San Fermin in Pamplona, Spain. And it starts, I'm going to go over on July 5. It starts from July 6th and goes to July 13th every year. It's been doing this since, I think, the 13th century, something like that. And it's culminated by the running of the bulls that I think everybody knows. And it happens at 8 a.m. every morning. And on July 9 at 8 a.m., that's going to be my slot. I'm going to be there with 2,000 other mozos, maybe bozos, but mozos. And we're going to do that. And I'm going to take this little guy with me, and I'm going to tie him behind me so he let me know if anybody's coming up my rear end. I have a check for you, President Curtis, for the general fund. If I do get harmed, send a few flowers. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. I can't wait to watch that GoPro video from that. It's going to be awesome. Next, we have Mitch Pizik. His birthday is June 18th. That is today. Joined our club March 25th, 2021, business services, business consulting, Pizik Consulting Group, and he still went to University of Illinois. Something you may not know about Mitch. To help pay for his college expenses, he competed in dart competitions, in chess tournaments, and in racquetball events. He won a bunch of money in the dart competitions. He won a bit of money in the chess tournaments. He then gave most of it back in the racquetball events. Mitch?
Thanks. Here's a check for scholarship. Even after you take a taste of it, there should still be some left over. So, one of the best decisions I ever made was joining this Rotary Club. No matter how you define beautiful, that's what you are.
So no pressure, Matt Blair, but you noticed all three of the guys, that they went 60 seconds or less. So we're on a roll. If we can just keep it going, it'd be fantastic. Next, we have Matt Blair. His birthday is June 28th. Joined our club April 2nd, 2009. Art and design with Cirrus Visual Communications. He went to Colorado State University. Something you may not know about Matt. Matt's dad was an F-16 pilot and flew in the first squadron of F-16s back in 1979 at Hill Air Force Base in Ogden, Utah. Matt?
Thank you very much. I will be turning a half a century old in 10 days, and I look forward to fly fishing in northern Arizona and just watching the world go by real slow. So I've got a check for my wife's Paul Harris, and I'm out.
We should have only celebrated these guys' birthdays all year long because they did fantastic. Don't encourage it, camper. Don't encourage it. Keep them in line. What do we have next? Next, man, you are. We got a couple more things,
Yeah.
I think. But you are ahead of the game.
Aren't I next?
Nope. You're close, though. I mean, we're getting there.
Oh.
Next,
I'm just going to stand next to you.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Next, I'd like to welcome up Matt Blair. You remember him from just a second ago. Joined our club April 2nd, 2009, yada, yada, yada. Colorado State University is going to be hitting 5-0 here in 10 days. To introduce a new member. Matt.
I'll just have a seat.
Now this one's going to go way over a minute. All right, so I'm really excited to introduce Matt Sinclair. He's a good friend of mine. He's the owner of Arizona Certified Backflow Testing, a successful local business serving the Tucson community. His introduction to Rotary came through a meaningful experience, his daughter's involvement in a Rotaract camp, and it sparked his interest to learn more about it. Actually, it was me asking him to come to lunch. In addition to his professional endeavors, he's passionate about cycling. He's a fast cyclist, and he donates a lot of time to various cycling events and activities in general. His commitment to community service combined with his entrepreneurial spirit and energy will no doubt make him a valuable addition to our club. Also, Matt is a medieval warrior. And that's something you may not know about him, but you can ask him about his glaive and how he likes to wield it. Anyway, this is Matt Sinclair.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Matt, for that introduction and the introduction to this club. People ask me why I think Rotary is great. And while the list is long, and it's not just the excellent lapel pins or the German efficiency that Curtis runs these meetings, I honestly think the meeting minutes file themselves and apologize for being late. At its core, it's about service. Real hands-on people helping people work. From local projects to global efforts, it brings together doers. We're not just talking about change, we're making it happen. What makes Rotary unique is its network. People from all walks of life come together, not for profit, but for purpose. Whether it's clean water, wheelchairs, education, or mentoring young people, Rotary connects us to a mission that equips us to make a difference. But it's not all about service. What I love most is the camaraderie. From the Whiskey Fellowship, the meetings are full of laughter, stories. Friendships grow as naturally as the good we try to do. But there was one thing for me that sealed the deal, and it was the cookies. every meeting without fail. So yes, I joined for the mission. I stayed for the people, but the honesty is, it's for the cookies. Thank you.
They need the picture.
Well done, Matt and Matt. Excellent. Hey, Chris, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, I think do we have a raffle? We do. Okay. Let's do it now.
All right.
Okay.
So I said I would do magic, and I figured people would be mad. So there's the deck of cards. I know. I'm going to go. And then I put the magic thing over top, and then you see the king of clubs. It's there. Ooh, I made it change. So the moral of this story is, if you give me a drink after you win, that's what you should do. All right. Can you pull the raffle ticket for me? I'm mixing them up. It's in there. And the winner is, I have $55 in my pocket. 263-026. 263-026. Yeah! He spent $20. I almost didn't give him change. Pick a card. All right. See if you. It's like. All right. 7 of hearts. $55 coming your way. Back to you, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you want your mic back?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Thank you.
I love you, Tim. That's why I picked the hearts. Yeah. Come on. It was a little bit funny. Cammie gets gold star. Thank you. What do we have here? We have some announcements. We ready for some announcements? No, wait. We're not ready for announcements. We have a blue badge presentation. Chris, are you ready for a blue badge presentation?
Yeah, where am I going?
He needs a microphone. Gonna ask Don Rawlings to do a blue badge presentation. I know the agenda. We're good.
Fellow Rotarians, today it's my pleasure to present a blue badge to Andres Espinosa. Andres joined our club last fall. He's being given his blue badge today. He arrived in Tucson in July last year as the new Tucson area coordinator for the Salvation Army. He is therefore Major Andres Espinosa. His wife is Captain Roxana Espinosa. She is also a city coordinator. They're also pastors in the All Nations Church. Before coming to Tucson, he served in the Salvation Army since the year 2000, but in the states of Washington, Utah, and in California. In California, he was a Rotarian. It's my pleasure now to give him his blue badge as a member of the Rotary Club of Tucson.
Nope. This is hilarious. You guys are doing great today, I just got to tell you. So there's a few things we stand for. We stand for new members. You stand when the president tells you to stand. No, that's not one of them. You stand for Paul Harris, right? The pledge. But we stand for some blue badge now. Well, actually, only half the room stood. So back on. I'm going to get off time here. Now we're ready for some announcements. They are emailed out to you. They are on your table. They are on the board. So if you want to grab your phone out right now and take a picture, even though you got it emailed to you, you can. Please read through it. Make sure you get involved as much as you want to get involved in Rotary, but I encourage you to get involved a little bit more. Especially in another week when I won't be your president, it'll be more enjoyable to get more involved. So, I think we have some red badge selfies. We've got Gordy and Bruce up there, and we got Kevin and Rob. Is that you, Rob LeMaster? Is that you up there? You're looking good. Looking good. Michael and Kevin, you're twice up there. Kevin's here, right? Nice. Good. Very good. Well done. Remember, if the red badge member, take a selfie with them, introduce yourself so that those red badge members feel as welcome as possible in our club. Where is Wilbur? Again, a reminder, we haven't called an all points bulletin to go after you if you still have a Wilbur, but if you have a Wilbur, there's still a grace period to return him. There's many Wilburs missing. But Wilbur I don't know if there's two Wilburs there or what's going on, but Wilbur is in Australia, or was in Australia, because Marcia is no longer in Australia, because she's sitting right there with Marcia Crumwoody. How was the trip? Good? And you returned, Wilbur? Good Rotarian right there. Good Rotarian. And Wilbur also is in Australia. Different Wilbur, I think. Could be same Wilbur. Probably not. With Margaret Higgins right now. Ah. Oh. You guys need to work on this. Next week, the moment we've all been waiting for. Not me exactly, because this part's fun. But it's change administration, so it's going to be a little different setup. We're not going to have a bunch of tables up here. I guarantee you we're going to have a little bit of fun, a little entertainment, most likely at my expense. And I know Cam's going to be here because he's listening to me talk about it right now, and it's so good to have you here today, Cam. And I don't blame you, I blame that table, because I know that table. It's the usual suspects. So next Wednesday at noon, right here, change administration, and let's get excited for Dot to take over the reins. Yeah. And next, I would like to welcome up Joe Danishevsky to talk about EREY, also known as Every Rotarian, Every Year. Joe?
If you don't have a brochure, there's a beautiful, yes it is. There's a beautiful brochure that you can share at tables where folks are not sitting. And we're going to be having a great way to introduce Every Rotarian Every Year. And it's basically an annual fundraising campaign for the Rotary Foundation. And the Rotary Foundation transforms your gifts into service projects that change lives close to home and around the globe. By giving to that annual fund, you make these life-changing projects possible so that together we can remain dedicated to doing good for years to come. I bet a bunch of us, I know my family does, we give a lot of money to like memberships for radio and television and also for museums. This is Rotary's way to say every Rotarian every year is invited to make a gift of $100 for this program. And it comes back to us in district grants and also Rotary Global grants. Let's find out a little bit more about those, okay? Jim Lubinsky did a great job talking about all the programs we've offered over the years. I bet there were some district grants in that, and I bet there was even a global grant if you attended with Chuck Sawyer, the wonderful program at Alamo, and what was done there. So this is a great way to sustain all these great foundation programs. Let's see, we have a slide. Your gift can provide clean water. How many folks have been part of a clean water project because of Rotary? How many went to San Carlos? Yeah, a bunch of us. My wife, my oldest son, we all went to San Carlos, and the whole program was fantastic. And I've always been a wonk, even as an Eagle Scout, about providing clean water. So that's a part of what Rotary can do through your gift of $100. We also have that Rotary is dedicated to 7 areas of focus to build international relationships, improve lives, and create a better world to support our peace efforts and end polio forever. Do any of those resonate with you? Peace? Yep, we're hearing some. Those, you know it's a hot button for me, are peace polls. And we're going to see if by the end of the year we can actually install or grow another peace pole for our club. Okay, as of today, we have 44 members who are part of every Rotarian every year. I'd like to invite you to become part of that group. Right now, we have 44 folks who have made a pledge to the program. And I'd ask you to consider making a pledge of $100. Last meeting, last Wednesday, President Curtis sounded the alarm. We needed to raise more for the program. Our club should be leading the way since we're by far the largest club in our district. So consider making that pledge. Get it to Dorina, either drop it off or get it in the mail to her. We'd like to wrap things up by the end of the program year, and you will feel good about making this $100 pledge. I guarantee it. Thank you. How'd I do?
We're in a rush, but it's okay. We're all right. It's my last meeting. I can go over. Just kidding. Next, I'd like to welcome up Doc Krett to bring us some news. President-elect Doc.
Hello. So I do have news. I have good news and bad news. I know, it's what you always want to hear. The good news is that even though, as we all are well and painfully aware, prices of everything is going up. However, the good news is that because our club has been making quite a few cost-cutting efforts, and we've made a lot of changes, and the second Wednesday meeting. So we've done so many things in our club, and the fabulous negotiation skills of Glenn and Dorina have kept a lot of costs down. So the good news is our club does not have a dues increase. Yay, right? Unfortunately, the bad news is that the district does. And so the district is imposing an increase starting July 1 of $10 per quarter. So I know that finances can be difficult, so what we have done in order to help some of you who need this assistance is we have a payment plan. So that means that the first 2 months of the quarter, you could be invoiced for $3.33. And the third month of the quarter would be $3.34. So if any of you would like to sign up for the payment plan, just talk to Dorina. She would love that thought of sending out invoices. But it will show up on your July statements, the increase of $10 per quarter for the district, not for our club. We send it to the district. So anyway, that's the good news, is our club. And the bad news is $10 a quarter, which is, I don't think that bad. So anyway, thank you all in advance.
Thank you, Don. Actually, it would be great if you just did the $10 for the quarter, so that we don't have to do 3. And if you need help with that, call John Wong. He'll help you out. Dave, we got a quick car show announcement?
Invite Jen up, too.
I would love to invite Orville McPherson, current award winner.
Yeah.
Jen.
I'm not going to wait for her. You know, I was told that something on your back like that is going to attract the bulls. Wilbur will do it. Okay. One of my college mentors made this statement: everything rises and falls on leadership. Now, as Rotarians, we know that leadership is not about, having a title or a position or authority to be a dictator. It's about how we grow influence with others because of the effectiveness of how we serve others. And that grows our influence with others, which is basically servant leadership. We can evaluate our effectiveness by answering this question. Who benefits more from your successes than you do? Ooh, that could be. Now think about that question. Who benefits more from your successes than you do? Or if you put it in the context of our club, who benefits more from our successes than we do? You know, I think that our annual car show passes that test because it adds such value, so much more value to our community than is returned to us. It's way more. Leadership is so important, and I would say that Jen and Sean provided our club. Now, it is a team effort, but every team effort requires great leadership. And I think that you and Sean provided such excellent leadership for our car show last year. And we were able to give, $225,000 back to our community projects. I think that's a value-added proposition, don't you? Now, Sean is out serving one of his customers, so he couldn't be here today. And on his behalf and on behalf of this entire club, we have just a token of our appreciation, because we are all inspired, I think, by your example of great servant leadership. So let me present this to you and Sean both.
You know, how do you follow that? But it is true. It was an honor to co-chair with Sean and work with all of you amazing Rotarians and giving back what we were able to give back to our beneficiaries. It's something that I will treasure forever, and I'm proud of us, all of us. So thank you very much.
So I was ahead of schedule, and I don't know what happened. So I apologize that we are a few minutes behind, but I won't do it again. So thank you all to our virtual guests for coming today, and all the other guests that are here. Hope you enjoyed the meeting. If you want more information about how to join the best club in the world, just stay after and talk to Dorina, myself, or the amazing Mitch. Don't talk to this guy. He'll be running out. Please donate to our U of A and Pima Community College scholarship cups as we continue to give scholarships out to local students. Thank you to Daniel for your presentation. That was fantastic. Happy birthday, Daryl, Jonathan, Mitch, Matt. Welcome to the club, Matt. Congrats on your blue badge, Andres, Major Andres. Next week, it's the day we've all been waiting for. It will be my last meeting. It will be fun, good times. There may be a little entertainment, Chris. Did you say cocktails, Cam? Wait, if it'll get you back next week, then maybe. Now to toast, the 11 o'clock club is coming back. Yes, now to toast and adjourn. Mitch?
Together, and may our friendships always be a source of laughter, support, and unwavering love.
Hear, hear.